Good afternoon, everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank City Communications for hosting this for us, but also I want to thank our media partners. There's been a lot going on this week, and I know a lot of y'all have asked for information from us. We felt like it was important to get everybody together at one time so we can get this for you and make sure you have all your questions answered. And I believe Hannah is going to work on doing this a couple times over the weekend so we can kind of all be on the same page. But we're here today from the Emergency Operations Center for the city and for the county. And I know that Commissioner Altman is listening, and welcome. We're always appreciative of when our county commissioners are joining, because we are a combined city and county emergency management. That includes the 6 towns. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Emergency Management and our partners have been closely monitoring the formation of Hurricane Ian over the past week and have been fully engaged in preparation efforts. The sheltering task force has been coordinating to plan for the potential shelter activations. Should they be necessary, but no shelters at this time are being opened. So we're not opening any shelters this time. However, we are standing by to do that. And we've been working closely with our volunteer agencies, including the American Red Cross. The Emergency Operations Center will be fully activated throughout the weekend, beginning on Friday afternoon, to monitor the impacts to our area and coordinate any necessary response efforts. Hurricane Ian has made landfall over the southwest coast of Florida this morning, and we predict that it will then cross over the Florida Peninsula into the Atlantic over the next 24 to 48 hours and enter into the Atlantic, and that's when we really have to pay close attention, because we're not fully sure what it's going to do when that happens. It could strengthen and then move in our general direction. There are uncertainties in Hurricane Ian's track and strength concerning the Western Carolinas and Northeast Georgia late this weekend and even all the way into Sunday. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg area should be prepared for potential effects. And so part of that is the Emergency Operations Center and our partners will be here together so we can make sure that we are closely coordinating and communicating, which is always an important part of the equation. Deep tropical moisture associated with Ian will bring the potential for heavy rainfall and possible flash flooding, including 3 to 4 inches of rain currently, as of today, expected. But those numbers do fluctuate, and they actually change from last night to today. Gusty winds are forecasted for the area ahead of the storm beginning on Thursday. Be prepared for downed trees and power lines. So one of the things that we would encourage you to do, and we always stand by personal decisions that you might make, but please consider over the weekend staying home. So enjoy that time with your family, read a book, watch Netflix, whatever it is that, cook something great. We love to do that on the fire department. But please attempt to stay off the roads. That will greatly help us and emergency responders throughout the area as they respond to any impacts. Stay informed, follow National Weather Service and local media, several of which are represented here today, for updated forecast information. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Emergency Management will post regular updates to our social media feeds. And so I always encourage everybody to follow us on Twitter and other social media. But also, and this is very important, and I really would like everyone to do this, sign up for CharMec Alerts. And you can do that at charmecalerts.org, which is always a great tool for anyone in our community. Build an emergency kit with essentials, and we always preach this, for 72 hours, including food, water, flashlights, extra batteries, medication, a first aid kit, backup battery to charge electronics, and other essentials you and your family might need. Be sure to factor pets into your preparedness efforts. And I know Chief Winkles may talk about this in a little bit, but carbon monoxide is always one of the issues that we worry about. So we want to make sure that you have working carbon monoxide detectors as well as smoke detectors. But if you lose power and you end up operating around anything that gives off carbon monoxide, including generators or anything else, make sure that those are many feet away from your dwelling so we don't have any issues here in our community. So I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Major Dave Johnson. And we have been together for a long time, but the last couple of weeks we've been together a lot as we went through the President's Cup together, which he did a great job. So Major Johnson.
Chief. Good afternoon, everybody. Major Dave Johnson with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department Special Operations Bureau. We've been working very closely with our public safety partners at the fire department and emergency management, along with our city partners in CDOT and special services, to make sure that we have the proper equipment and personnel on standby and close at hand in case the need arises and this becomes a severe weather event for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg jurisdiction. Just like to reiterate what Chief Graham said about staying home. If you don't have to get out in severe weather, please don't. The fewer drivers that there are on the road are the fewer incidents that we have to respond to. And we don't want to have to come rescue you from a flooded roadway if we don't have to. So, and on to kind of reiterate that point, if you see a roadway that is covered in water, please do not attempt to drive through that. It's very hard to tell how deep that water is. And without fail, every time we have a severe rain event in Charlotte, we rescue multiple people who have made that unfortunate decision to try to drive through water that was much deeper than they suspected it was. So if you don't have to get out, stay home. If you do have to get out, avoid any roadway that's covered in water, find another route. And if you do need, certainly in an emergency situation, call 911. If there's a flooding situation, or you see a roadway that's flooded, or a creek or waterway that's flooded that needs some attention, please call 311 and your call will be routed to the appropriate personnel. Thank you. I believe I'm being followed by Deputy Chief Winkles from the Charlotte Fire Department.
Good afternoon, everybody. Deputy Chief Jerry Winkles with Charlotte Fire Department. Again, just to reiterate, Charlotte Fire Department has been preparing for the Hurricane Ian over the next couple of days. We'll be doing our daily activities and maintaining any kind of support that's needed with the emergency management. And in addition to that, we're asking that all Charlotte area residents, like Chief Graham stated, get prepared for the next couple of days. Some of the things that you can do in order to assist us is securing any items that are in the yard, and be prepared to go without power for 24 to 48 hours. And that includes getting batteries for flashlights, go ahead and charging your cell phones, and in addition, download any weather apps so that you can maintain a vigilant watch over the next couple of days. We ask that you contact 911 for emergencies only, and that if you have any needs for city services, please contact 311 for those. We also ask that you check on any elderly or any of your neighbors, and then obviously call for help if you need to, and then please bring your pets in. In addition to getting prepared, please make sure that if you have any items that you need from the store or any prescription meds, that you go ahead and have those filled as well in order to be ready for the next couple of days to be at home. And we do ask that you stay at home unless it's an emergency. Our next speaker is going to be John Wendell from Charlotte-Mecklenburg Stormwater Services.
Blockages in those creeks, call 311 and we'll try to get somebody out there to clear that out. But that won't happen after the rain starts. Once the rain starts, we don't want to put our folks in jeopardy. We want to keep them safe. So doing that early could get us a really good start on clearing out those storms, creeks in the area. The other thing I want to say, and other people have mentioned it already, turn around, don't drown. A lot of people hear this millions of times, but yet they still do it. More people have died in their cars from flooding than outside of their cars. So it shows you that people have either gone around barriers or they thought they could go through the water. So again, turn around, don't drown. A lot of people just hear about it, but they don't practice it. And we really do want to push that idea. Flooded roads, you don't know what's under it. Even though the water's not moving, I could drive through there. Well, there may be a sinkhole. There may be power lines. There may be tree branches, tree limbs. You don't know what's underneath that water. So be prepared and just go around that flooded roadway. The other thing is moving water. 6 inches of moving water could knock a person over. A foot of moving water could move a car. So just be prepared and think about things that you should be doing and turn around, don't drown. I know we say it a million times, but it really does work. So I'm going to toss it back to Hannah and see if we have any questions.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you to all of our speakers. At this time, we are prepared to take any questions.
Yes, this is Derek Dellinger for Queen City News, Fox Charlotte. You mentioned, Chief Graham made a specific mention of the fact that we could be seeing potentially 3 to 4 inches of rain and gusty winds as early as Thursday. Are there any indications really as far as what people should at least expect? Is that the least of what people should expect once this storm system comes into the area?
Hey, Derek. So I'll be honest with you, it changes every couple hours. And so we know, and I'll let John Wendell maybe speak to it because he is a trained meteorologist for those that don't know. But we are expecting to get something. But John, do you have anything on that for us?
Well, the thing I would like to say is that majority of the rain is probably going to happen on a Friday night into Saturday morning. And flooding is going to depend on how hard and how fast that rain falls. If you get 3-4 inches of rain over a 48-hour period, I think we're in pretty good shape. But if you get that over a 3-hour period, then we may have some problems. So I think it's more of a Friday night into Saturday morning event. But if you also think about the ground being saturated, the trees have a lot of leaves, so they make a big sail. And so there could be quite a few trees down. Even if you only get like a 30-mile-an-hour wind, that could cause some problems. So I think those two things, the flood risk and then the trees down, will be the biggest issues around here.
Yeah. And Derek, if you've never heard me say this, I'll say it again because it's important. We plan for like, not the worst case scenario, absolute worst, but we plan heavy. So if we plan heavy and we're thinking, hey, this is probably the worst that could happen during the storm, we're going to be in better shape if it's not, right? So we try to move as many resources in and have all our folks ready to go in case it goes in a direction that we don't like. And so that helps. Emergency managers, I always tell everybody this, emergency managers are never right. They're about like meteorologists. We've got too many resources that we were bringing in, or it gets worse and we didn't bring enough resources in. So you always want to be on the side that we're ready to go and prepared, rather than the side of like, well, it's not going to really do anything, so we don't need to prepare. And so that's where we try to land, really try to find that sweet spot. But I'm okay being wrong. And I mean, that's just the world of emergency management.